You have been completely readable your entire life. That is why they always win. Every reaction you've shown, every fear you've revealed, every need you've exposed, studied. People don't respect honesty. They exploit it. They catalog your weaknesses while you speak freely. You think openness builds trust. No, openness builds targets. You've been building targets. Every person who ever used you knew exactly where you were weak. You showed them willingly. This video is not philosophy. This is a survival code you were never supposed to find. Most people will watch this and change nothing. Some will watch and never be exploited again. The man who cannot be fully read can never be fully counted. That is Machiavelli's first law. Right now, someone in your life is reading you, and you have no idea it's happening. Humans are not kind by nature. They are strategic. Kindness is a tool they use when it benefits them. When you were emotional, they were calm. When you were honest, they were calculating. See the pattern. You thought people valued your transparency. They value the advantage it gave them over you. The person who overshares at work is always passed over for promotion. Always. This is not coincidence. Every time you explain your pain, you handed someone a map to hurt you precisely again. Empathy is real, but weaponized empathy is more common than you have ever wanted to believe. Drop this in the comments. I have been too readable. That ends today. Fairness is a beautiful idea, but the fair person is always the easiest one to exploit and discard. You played by their rules. They never played by yours. You call that fairness. They called it advantage. Emotional availability is not strength. In social hierarchies, it is a signal of low strategic value. The moment people sense your emotional hunger for validation, love, acceptance, they reduce your price. You do not owe the world access to your inner life. That is not coldness. That is sovereignty. They drained you because you left the door wide open. The mystery you lost was your power. 500 years ago, a man was tortured, exiled, and erased for writing one honest book about power. His name was Niccolo Machiavelli. Not a villain, a forbidden observer of what human nature truly is. He did not teach cruelty. He described reality. The reality people with power already know and never share. He wrote, "Men are so simple and so much creatures of circumstance that the deceiver will always find victims." Read that again. Not as philosophy, as the operating system of every room you've ever entered, every job you've had, every friendship, every relationship. This principle was operating whether you saw it or not. The deceiver finds victims. You have been a victim not from weakness, but from unawareness. That ends now. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. What you learn here becomes armor, not a weapon against others. The 7 rules are not lessons. They are laws of psychological survival. Begin now. Pay attention carefully. The moment you let them see your full emotional range is the moment you cease to be interesting to them. Mystery creates magnetic pull. When people cannot fully understand you, they cannot stop thinking about you. Your predictability is not reliability. In power dynamics, it is a cage they built around you with your own help. When you became predictable, they stopped paying attention. Attention is currency. You spent yours giving it away. Drop in the comments, "I will never be fully readable again." Honesty is noble between equals, but you are rarely in a room of equals. Act accordingly and survive. When you overshare your plans, you give competitors time to prepare. Silence is your first strategic weapon. The job you didn't get, you told too many people about it. Your excitement became their ammunition against you. Every goal you announced publicly arrived slower, or not at all. The universe did not punish you. People did. Rule 2. Speak less than necessary. Not because silence is weakness, because silence is data collection. Every word you hold back is a move they cannot anticipate. The silent man holds all the cards. Always. People mistake emotional distance for coldness. It is not. It is the highest form of psychological self-defense available. When you stop needing their approval, something terrifying happens to them. They need yours. Urgently. Think of someone in your life you have chased. Now think of how little they chased you. Notice the hierarchy? You chased because you needed. They withheld because they understood that withholding is the actual source of power. Rule 3. Cultivate emotional distance deliberately. Not from everyone. From those who have not earned access to you. Comment below. I stopped giving access to those who haven't earned it. Fairness assumes all players agreed to the same game. They never did. You are the only one who believed that. You waited to be rewarded for your ethics. The room moved on and rewarded the one who moved first instead. Rule 4. Stop waiting for fairness. Begin moving in the world as it actually is, not as you wish it were. The fair player is a predictable player. The predictable player is the exploitable player. This is how it works. You do not have to be dishonest. You simply have to choose what you reveal, and when you reveal it deliberately, let them wonder about your thoughts. Let them guess your next move. Let them study you and still find nothing conclusive. Rule 5. Give people pieces, never the whole picture. The incomplete image demands completion. They will return. Information is leverage. Every detail you freely volunteer reduces your strategic position. Treat yourself as classified intelligence. When they expect your reaction and receive only stillness, they are forced into a psychological position of disadvantage immediately. When they expected anger and you gave peace. When they expected breakdown and you gave silence. You won that room. Rule 6. Strategic withdrawal is not retreat. It is choosing which battles are worth entering in the first place. Drop in the comments, I choose MY battles now. I do not react. I respond. The man who can be provoked can be controlled. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be managed. Be unmanageable. The most powerful people you've ever met had one thing in common. You could never quite fully understand them. You sensed something in them you couldn't name. That unnamed quality was a deliberately maintained mystery. It was engineered. Rule 7. Become the unfinished sentence. The one they cannot complete. The thought that stays in their mind all night. Let conversations end at your highest point. Leave them wanting. The exit is as powerful as the entrance. Engineer both. They will think about the man who left while they were still talking, not the one who stayed too long explaining himself. The men who shaped history were not the ones who spoke most. They were the ones no one could fully decode. Right below, I am becoming the man they cannot fully read. Every rule you've learned today is a wall they cannot scale, a mind they cannot enter, a man they cannot counter. You are not building walls against people. You are building a self strong enough that walls become unnecessary entirely. Stop seeking to be understood. Start seeking to be undeniable. These are not the same goal. Choose wisely now. The man who needs to be understood will be understood and then used. The mystery is the last sovereign territory. Protect your interiority the way kings protect their borders. With quiet force. With total commitment. Without apology ever. You survived before you understood any of this. Imagine the life that awaits you now that you carry this awareness always. Drop in the comments. This awareness changes everything. I see it now. The 7 rules are not techniques. They are a new identity. You are not learning strategies. You are becoming someone different entirely. The old you is dead. The one who needed to be understood. The one who kept explaining himself into weakness. Gone. The version of you that overshared, overexplained, overtrusted. That version could not protect you. He failed you repeatedly. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future. Not at others, at everything you decided to become from today. You belong to no one, not their expectations, not their need to understand you, not their narrative about who you are. You are no one's story. You are no one's assumption. You are no one's prediction. You have just reclaimed yourself completely. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming untouchable. There is a profound difference between those two things. The mystery you build is not a mask. It is a moat, and you decide who is worth the crossing. Only you. History remembers the silent ones, the ones whose minds no one could fully enter. Go and join that company now. You came here as someone they could read. You leave here as someone they never will. Feel that. Hold that power tightly. If this reached something in you, something you felt but never found the words for, you are exactly who this is for. Every video here is psychological armor, not motivation, not inspiration. Armor. Stay if you choose to survive differently hereafter. Subscribe, not for content, for psychological evolution, for the version of you that stops being the easiest person in the room. The comment section below is for the ones who felt this, not for the ones who watched this. There is a difference. Speak. Who in your life has been reading you? And what will you do now that you finally know?